Okay, so this is the grooving of an Asiatic Composite bow. I've set up a jig here that keeps a straight line on the side of the bow and a straight line here against the side of my scraper that's evenly grooved right here, if you can see. So this is for a flat surface here, and when I have concave surfaces, I have these here. And you have this one right here. And these teeth match up into here. So what I'll do is establish pretty much my lines here, starting up against this edge right here and following it all the way down. Once you get your lines established, you can take your pull off the jig here. This side here is already clamped with horn, already glued to it. It's still drying. Getting the other side started. Remove the jig. Okay, now I take another scraper tool that's identical spacing of teeth as my other one here that's touched my handle. This one I use for starting the lines. This one I start with finishing. So I'll kind of line my eyes up here along the lath right here where I've already got my lines started. And you want to be careful when you're scraping that you don't deviate from those lines. You want them exactly straight. And some lines may run off, and that's only because your piece isn't square, but that's okay. The horn's going to fit in the center here, and the wood's going to be removed later on. Okay. So I'll match up the teeth and just slowly start walking down to make these grooves deeper. And move back and forth. And the deeper they go, once it starts going, you're good. You just got to get them all the way down to the depth of those teeth here, so that these spaces right here are sharp, just like the teeth are, and the depth here is as deep as here. Takes a little while. Takes about an hour or so, but you can take some breaks in between because your hand will start cramping up. So this right here I'm doing with my hands just to get it really started. I have another tool that helps with more leverage, and that's this one right here. So you got two handles, and then I'll bolt this onto here like this, and then I can just drag it all the way down. I'll show you in the next clip. Okay, now I've taken my scraper tool, put it on here. Okay, now I've made this out of an old circular saw blade and measured 2 millimeters deep and 2 millimeters spacing between, and used a file now, and I heat treated this so it holds in a better edge. But when you do this, make sure you put a metal plate here on the outside when you secure it with a bolt, because if you don't, you'll get you'll run into some cracking here because there's so much stress that you're pulling on this, it can crack this if you don't temper it right. So it's a better safety feature to have this thing on here to protect it from cracking, because it does take a long time to make one of these. The amount of time you put into this and it breaks, it does kind of suck. So your teeth up again, pull it this way, and you can alternate whatever grip is working best for you. And the more you pivot it too, you'll notice it starts to dig better. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm taking the horn. You know, obviously these got to go down a lot further, but usually I'll start here. I like to get both of them started around the same time. I'll line this up by eye for the most part. Find out where the center groove is going to be. Okay, ready? Okay, so I've got these started here. I'm going to take the horn that I've already shaped, flattened. This has been steam flattened and all the waste material, so I got a nice flat, somewhat concave surface here, but that'll even out with this here. So I put the convex scraper in the concave surface. So I want to find my center groove here. Basically I'll do this by eye. I'll hold this up to where I need it lined up here. And then I look down on the piece and see that this is going to be a divot right here, right in the center. So I'll make that right there. It's going to be my center line. Because this right here, this piece here is going to be really sharp. Once it's grooved down, it's going to be like a tooth, and that will fit center line onto here. So I've got this marked in center here. And then usually I'll look down on the piece here, my center, and eyeball it down the center on here. Now this piece is kind of warped a little bit the way it was shaped. It goes this way. But once I start that line, it'll work its way out. And by the time this is done, this is actually going to be a little bit thinner. So